President Trump already getting results as he cracks down on illegal immigration during his first week in office. Homeland Security sources telling News Nation that Border Patrol has seen a more than 40% drop in encounters. In the final days of the Biden presidency, Border Patrol recorded 4,000 encounters with illegal immigrants, compared to just fewer than 2,400 since Inauguration Day. That news coming as the president sends 1,500 more troops to the southern border, along with the Pentagon sending aircraft, they're sending intelligence, you name it. News Nation's Robert Sherman is in Washington with the latest. And Robert, the president's showing he's really kind of walking the walk in this first week back to office.
Yeah, no two ways about it, Marky, with the president making good on his day one promise to declare a state of emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. He's now using that authority that gives him the ability to deploy these troops to reestablish operational control. 1,500 additional troops will be sent to the border to join the roughly 2,200 National Guardsmen who are already there, building temporary and permanent barriers along the border with Mexico. And the door is reportedly open for as many as 10,000 soldiers to go. The Department of Defense says they'll also be providing military aircraft to assist with deportations, with plans to fly more than 5,000 illegal immigrants already detained in San Diego and El Paso out of the country. The White House was asked about this directly. This is what they had to say.
The American people have been waiting for such a time as this, for our Department of Defense to actually take Homeland Security seriously. This is a #1 priority of the American people, and the president is already delivering.
Also worth noting, the president has signed an executive order directing DHS, the Department of Justice, and State Department to, quote, repel, repatriate, and remove illegal aliens across the southern border. The message from the White House being, don't come.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, promises made, promises kept. And the revolution must be televised. It must be televised, as I have outlined to you guys before in past videos about the largest deportation operation in American history. Okay, we're gonna beat Eisenhower, right? Because it must happen. And I said a part of the largest mass deportation in American history has to be a televised visual of what happens when you come into this country illegally. Okay, we have to set examples and show anybody thinking about coming to this country that, hey, this is what's going to happen. And I already told you guys, the liberals, the media, they're gonna boohoo, whine, and cry about it. But people have to see imagery of the deportations. They have to understand that you don't have the option of coming here, right? It's not enough just to say don't come. You have to show them what happens if you try to come. And see, that's the problem with the Biden-Harris administration. Biden and Kamala Harris told them during the Democrat primary, because they were having a competition to see who could be the wokest, right? They told the illegals to come to the border. And that's exactly what the illegals did. They came to the border. And then when the border got overrun, when they figured out that, oh, wait, we got more of these people than we thought we'd get, they said, oh, don't come. But yet they were still letting people in. So it was an empty message. President Trump, on the other hand, is not only saying don't come, but he's actually showing you why you shouldn't come, right? And what happens if you come. If you come to the border, you're being turned around. Sorry. Okay? The country's not open. If you're already here illegally and you commit a crime, if you're operating as a gang, you're also going back. Okay? And that's what's happening here in this video, as you have this illegal immigrant who claims he's not going back to Haiti, as he gets rounded up and deported from this country. This is the type of imagery that I was begging for. I said, this is what we have to see. The American people have to see it. Okay, the mass deportations have to be televised. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Wow. This should be in every Republican campaign ad for the next at least 10 years, right? If not forever, okay? That right there is an admission that, yeah, I'm here illegally. I'm a gang member. I'm operating in this country, and thanks to who? Biden and Obama, right? He think Biden and Obama. What does that tell you? That those are the people that are responsible for the current disaster that we have in this country when it comes to illegal immigrants and crime. Those are the people responsible. He's telling you. That's who he supports. So again, Republicans, again, this should be in every ad about the border, illegal immigration. This should be in every ad. At this rate, we're going to expand our majorities in the midterms, to be honest with you.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction. And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you got, wow, I love this. I absolutely love this. They have to make a television show out of this, right? They need to make a reality show. They need to make a reality show out of this. But this is what I wanted to see. This is what the American people wanted to see, okay? If you notice, guys, what is the same pattern here among all of these individuals that are being rounded up for committing heinous crimes, by the way, right? And get a slap on the wrist from sanctuary cities, from Democrats, progressives. They're all single military age men. And this is why I say that single military age men should not be eligible for any type of asylum claim, right? No, you're not. If you're a military, no, you got to go back. Automatic rejection, okay? When you bring a bunch of single military age men into a country and they're here illegally, there are going to be consequences. So, ultimately, at the end of the day, these criminals, they're being rounded up. Hopefully they're deported, okay? And I want to see more of this. And seeing this type of imagery is not going to change my mind. It's not going to make me feel bad. Now, who knows? I probably shouldn't say this out loud because, hey, they might actually use this tactic. But the one thing that might make me change my mind, that might make me feel bad, if they start rounding up the thick Latinas, right? If they start rounding up the thick Latinas and deporting them too, that might make me change my mind. I might change my mind. I might say, I don't know. You might be going too far. But hey, if it's single military age men, you're not going to get a tear from me. I don't care what the imagery. You're not going to get a tear from me. I'm just saying. You
guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, shortly after we finished filming, ICE Boston told us they arrested 2 more targets in other parts of town away from our cameras. One of those targets is a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested for raping a woman while putting a gun in her mouth. The other target they got is a Haitian man who first flew into the United States in 2023 as part of President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program. Well, they just picked him up yesterday because he's been arrested locally for sexual assault. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malhusian, it was fascinating to watch all of that. I think I was just saying to Bill, this is terrible for Joe Biden and the legacy that he tried to leave behind. A question from me, how soon will they actually be leaving the country? Does that take a long time?
It depends what country they're from. If they're from cooperable countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, countries like that, it can be quick. It can be within days or weeks. If it's countries that are harder to deport, countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much, it can go into a process of months. But the Trump administration is changing policies with something called expedited removal. The bottom line is people at home don't need to understand all the policies. The Trump administration is just going to work as fast as they can to get all the people you just saw on camera there out of the country as fast as possible. They're also going to use their State Department, now led by Marco Rubio, to put pressure on countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much when it comes to those deportations.
Bill, just two facts, and that's exactly what we got to do, right? Again, you guys know how I feel about Venezuela and them denying their criminals. I think that's an act of war, right? I really do. I think that's an act of war. So, at the end of the day, this Fox News commentator, she's right. This is a damning indictment of Biden's legacy. It really is. And when Democrats come out here and talk about protecting women, like all these crimes that these illegals are committing, right? Like the women are the victims. Okay? Women are the victims. So when you come out here and you talk about protecting women, this should be what we're talking about here. But see, Democrats are concerned with protecting any woman unless, they weren't born a woman. So those are the only women that Democrats are concerned about protecting. Otherwise, I think the American people with common sense, we realize how dangerous this situation can be. Again, when you let a lot of single military-age men in the country and how that could be dangerous for young women, okay?
2 points of clarification here. It seems a lot of these crimes are associated with sex crimes. I'm just looking at the list a bit earlier today. I don't know if that generally is the case or not. And second, if Boston's a sanctuary city, how are they allowed to do this? Because we told there would be resistance.
Boston doesn't have to cooperate with ICE, but there's nothing they can do to stop ICE from coming into their city and enforcing the law. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And that's the point ICE makes to us is, look, they don't have to cooperate with our detainer requests. They don't have to tell our officers when they're releasing somebody from jail. But we're going to do our job. We have our intel guys out in the field. We have people with eyes all over the place, and we're going to snatch those guys. So they can make ICE's job more difficult, longer, and more dangerous, but it's not going to stop ICE from doing the job, guys. The bottom line is, ICE says it's safer for everybody involved if locals would just hand these guys over in jail once they're arrested, but they don't. They let them out onto the streets. They don't tell ICE about it, so ICE has to spend a lot of resources gathering intel, finding these guys, and then going out into the community to do arrests, which could be dangerous. You saw that combative Haitian man, and then you saw in the case of that one MS-13 member, his friend got snagged. They weren't even looking for him. They were looking for the MS-13 guy. They picked him up because a sanctuary jurisdiction released the MS-13 guy. ICE found him and then found the guy he was in the apartment with. They found out he was an illegal alien as well. So now he's going to be deported too.
Wow.
And that's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. Except the sanctuary cities should be cooperating, right? In the sense that they're making it more expensive for ICE, the federal government, to do their job. Now, if these sanctuary cities were cooperating, if they were actually detaining the illegals after they, commit sex crimes, then, ICE would be able to just go to the jails and pick them up. But see, ICE can't do that because these local jurisdictions are not cooperating. So they have to go into the neighborhoods. And what Tom Homan has come out and said is that, listen, Democrats are going to boohoo, whine, and cry about people being rounded up in the mass deportation sweeps. But ultimately, you can prevent all that, right? Extra people being rounded up who aren't necessarily criminals in the sense they've committed a crime. I mean, although they did enter the country illegally, which is a crime. But anyways, you can prevent that or have less of that if you guys cooperate, but they choose not to cooperate. So what Democrats are actually banking on here, they're banking on ICE probably rounding up somebody who is either here illegally but legally, right? For example, somebody who's been granted asylum or whatever. They're banking on ICE essentially rounding up somebody that they can make a story out of, right? That's why they're allowing it to happen, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. If your whole thing is that we don't want all these extra people being rounded up, right? Then it's better for you to cooperate with the federal government. But when you don't cooperate with the federal government, you're basically saying, okay, well, do what you need to do. You go out here, you go in these neighborhoods. Hey, you can just round up whoever you want. So what they're saying doesn't make sense with their stated goals, because the goal ultimately is to try to pull at people's heartstrings and to allow this stuff to happen and hope that the American people and our opinions of the mass deportations is going to change based off imagery that may be uncomfortable to some people. But what Democrats don't understand is that that's not going to work, right? Me personally, when I see stories like this doesn't make me sad. It doesn't make me upset. It's like, oh yeah, okay, well, this is what I voted for, right? This is exactly what we need to see. Most importantly, this is what illegal immigrants need to see, right? This is exactly what they need to see, because a lot of them, they're going to mass deport themselves. As we've talked about, they're going to leave. They're going to be like, nah, I'm not trying to go through all that. I'm out, right? Let me go to Mexico. They setting up camps, right? Shine Bob, right? She barking, but she ain't doing no biting, okay? So go ahead and going back to Mexico, okay? Going wherever you came from. A lot of them are going to do that. A lot of them are going to do that. And it's going to make the operation more efficient. And yeah, I want to see a lot more of this. Again, they should make a TV show out of it. I think it would probably be one of the most watched TV shows on air, right? It'd definitely be more watched than CNN and MSNBC, which, by the way, I highly doubt they'll be covering this, right? And they want to know why their ratings are declining. Their ratings are declining because you only see stuff like this on Fox News and Newsmax or News Nation. You don't see this type of stuff on CNN and MSNBC. You don't see this. They don't cover this type of stuff. They too busy boohoo whining and crying about Trump, while Trump is doing exactly what the American people want. And people are running to Fox News and watching it and saying, yeah, this is exactly what we voted for. We agree with this, right? We don't want to hear about January 6th. We don't want to hear about all this stuff these people have been crying about for years. We want to see the results. That's what we want to hear about. And promises made, promises kept. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.